Nitin Sood, CFO of PVR, joins us now. Nitin, good morning. Thank you for joining us. Now, while PVR they continue to expand at a very rapid pace, the fact remains that India is still an under-screened nation with less than 25% of the screens if I compare that with China or US. What do you think and where do you think this sector is headed in terms of screen addition and capacity?
Yeah, I think India has this unique challenge of having, adequate real estate being available for building of shopping malls and cinemas. And that's been the biggest bottleneck for the growth of the industry. If you look at China has now about 60,000 plus screens. In the last decade alone, they've added 50,000 new screens, whereas India has been struggling to add more screens because the more multiplexes that we've added, I think the single screen cinemas have shut down. So that's the biggest bottleneck, and real estate in India is quite expensive as compared to some of the other countries, which has really held back the growth for the industry.
Launched PVR itself and an offering for tier 2 and tier 3 cities. This is largely to also address the aspiration of tier 2 and tier 3 moviegoers. There's a lot of opportunity there. What is the plan to take this format forward?
Yeah, so I think we are really focused on bringing the cinema experience to a large number of cities across the country. We've expanded our presence across 70 cities right now. The plan is to double that count in the next 5 years. And as we are getting opportunities in every city and town where we think the infrastructure is ready, where the retail experience can be brought in, and there is a price point that customers are willing to pay, we are actually looking at rolling out our offering in those markets. In fact, every year we are adding about 6 to 7 new cities as part of a portfolio. And we believe the multiplex experience is bound to increase and expand all over the country.
Okay. Strong movie content, brand recognition, also a large screen presence, all of these aiding the company's growth so far. Tell us about 2020. What's the outlook now going to be on footfalls, for instance?
2019 has been a very strong year, in spite of the fact that 2018, was one of the best box office years for the Bollywood film industry in the last 5 years. And 2019 has demonstrated that it was not a fluke year. In fact, people want to go out and watch great content at multiplexes. So on the back of a very strong year, we've had a very strong 2019 so far. And we think, 2019 will also turn out to be a great a box office year for the Bollywood film industry and the Hollywood film industry. So looking out for the great this quarter and next quarter as well.
You've also been steadily increasing average ticket prices. Will you continue to increase these by about 4 to 5% on a year-on-year basis?
In fact, on the contrary, after the GST rate reduction at the beginning of this year, we have cut down ticket pricing across the board, across our multiplexes. So average ticket price growth for the industry as general this year has been actually down by 4 to 5% as compared to the previous year, because cinemas have passed on the benefit entirely back to the consumers. But yes, next year I think we'll to tide over our cost pressures, etc., and to manage the normal inflation-linked growth, ticket pricing we should see a 4 to 5% growth.
Right. Nitin, are you worried about the consumption trends altering with the rise of video streaming services in India and the hours of content? Will people avoid visits to theatre gradually, or do you think that's still no match for the entire cinema-going experience?
See, it's too early to say how this whole consumption piece will evolve. But what I can say is, the fact that we're having great box office years back to back in 2018 and 19 is a demonstration of the fact that, the OTT consumption is not impacting the out-of-home entertainment experience for moviegoers. They view both watching movies out of home at cinemas versus watching at home on the OTT platforms a completely different experience. And that's not represented in any of the box office numbers at all. In fact, one of the fear that a lot of people used to say is that people will only step out to watch big films and, medium budget films or films with lower star cast will not do well. And both these myths have kind of been shattered, because all the films that have done well are with good content and storyline. In fact, our belief is that what is happening is that OTT is helping people to consume more entertainment at their homes, and the same people who are consuming more entertainment are likely to be the cinema customers. They are likely to step out more often now to watch movies out of home. So in some sense, while this can't be proved, our early hypothesis is that OTT is actually going to help fuel cinema consumption in this country.
Right. Nitin, you've been earning over a quarter of your revenues from F&B, biggest and growing share of the revenue pie for multiplexes as well. What's the kind of growth that you foresee for purely F&B going forward?
No, F&B is a very large area for us, and we are doing a lot of work in improving the F&B experience at cinemas. In fact, the quality of F&B offering that is now available in India is already very, very diversified and much better than what cinemas serve most of the places of the world. Indian movie going experience is slightly longer as compared to rest of the world, and our focus is really to improve the quality of F&B offering at the cinemas and increase the choice that we offer to our customers. And that segment is doing really well. We are seeing some big wins. The segment, we've seen average spend per head grow by 8 to 10% during the last couple of years, and this year has also been going very strong.
Okay, what's in store for 2020? The kind of lineup for films, we were just looking at some of the global releases as well as domestic ones, some of those big multi-starrers. Are you excited about the lineup? What's in store?
I think the next year lineup fully is not yet announced, but all the major dates have been fully blocked, including Eid, Diwali, Christmas. So there is no shortage of content that we are seeing. In fact, the content pipeline is likely to improve as we, I think, move along. The Q4, which is the immediate quarter, is also looking very strong. We've got some good films like Chapak, Thanaji, Street Dancer, and then we have Suryavanshi towards the end of the quarter. So the outlook looks very strong, even though we had a very strong Q4 last year. This year Q4 is looking very, very promising as well. And we think it will be a great FY 2019-20 for the cinema business.
All right, thanks for joining us then and talking us through the outlook going forward. Looking forward to some of those big releases.